बहुत ही कम समय के भीतर योजना आयोग के स्थान पर एक क्रिएटिव थिंकिंग के साथ राष्ट्र को आगे ले जाने की दिशा, पब्लिक प्राइवेट पार्टनरशिप की दिशा, संसाधनों का ऑप्टिमम यूटिलाइजेशन, प्राकृतिक संसाधनों का ऑप्टिमम यूटिलाइजेशन, देश की युवा शक्ति के सामर्थ्य का उपयोग, राज्य सरकारों की आगे बढ़ने की इच्छाओं को बल देना, राज्य सरकारों को ताकतवर बनाना, संघीय ढांचे को ताकतवर बनाना, ऐसा नए रूप रंग के साथ, नया शरीर नई आत्मा के साथ, नई सोच के साथ, नई दिशा के साथ, नए विश्वास के साथ एक नए इंस्टीट्यूशन को हम निर्माण करेंगे।
This is perhaps one of the big policy announcements made by Prime Minister Narendra Modi in his Independence Day speech, where he questioned the relevance of a 6-decade-old planning body. Now let's go back to the pages of history and understand how and why Planning Commission came into being. The Planning Commission started in 1950 as a non-constitutional body with an objective to set the goals that the government needed to achieve at the end of every 5 years. These plans would cover everything from how much grain must be produced, which industries the country must focus on, how much money is needed to be invested, and so on. There was another reason why the Planning Commission was created. Independent India's leaders and especially Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru were influenced by the socialist model of economics. Establishment of Planning Commission fell perfectly with former Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru's socialist model. However, we have come a long way from the days of government control over the industry. A critical examination of Planning Commission report card in recent years reveals that Planning Commission, through some of the centrally sponsored schemes, had been distorting the district and the state level planning and accountability mechanisms. It is also argued that the 5-year planning body are more oriented towards budget making rather than steering it. They are too rigid to respond to changes as they occur. Therefore, such plans do not help leaders of the governments to steer through a dynamic world. The plan documents are also suggested to be too heavy and that they do not represent the ground realities of the states as well as Gram Panchayats in particular. So the question of whether the Planning Commission is relevant any longer has been around for quite a while now. The former Congress-led UPA government wanted to keep the Planning Commission but change its functions so that it would oversee reforms in the economy instead of setting production and fund allocation targets. It was, however, unable to accomplish any of these changes. Even former Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh, who had been associated for a long time with the Planning Commission, had noted that the body has no futuristic vision in the post-mortem period. He also said that the Planning Commission would have to reinvent itself to remain more effective and to remain more relevant in the present scenario. That's why Prime Minister Narendra Modi decided that Commission needs to be dismantled altogether and that a new think tank that will advise on how to regulate industry on fixing government finances and encouraging economic reforms. Business Desk for DD News.